No one expected the hangar alarms to blare at 3 a.m., but they did. And when the AH-64 Apache sat crippled under the floodlights, its systems dead and experts helpless, the entire base braced for the worst. A mission-critical operation was hours away, and failure wasn't an option. They called in every technician, every officer, every engineer. Everyone failed. Until the commander made a phone call no one ever imagined he'd make. A call to her, the woman whose name still echoed through the military like a legend, though she had vanished from service years ago. And when she walked into the hangar, silent eyes scanning the broken beast, every soldier felt the air shift. Because the moment she touched the Apache's cold metal, they knew. The story wasn't about a helicopter anymore. It was about redemption, secrets, and a veteran no one had truly understood, until now. The broken beast and the woman who walked away. The night was unnaturally still when Commander Marcus Hale stormed into Hangar 9. Floodlights bathed the AH-64 Apache in harsh white, its cockpit open like a wounded animal gasping for breath. The aviation techs had been working for 18 hours straight. Tools were scattered like casualties across the floor. The Apache wasn't just a machine tonight, it was the only asset capable of leading a rescue mission for an Allied team pinned across the border. Time was choking them. Status report, Hale demanded. Chief Engineer Rourke wiped sweat from his eyes. Sir, we can't fix it. The flight computer's gone through some kind of cascade failure. It doesn't make sense. We've swapped modules, twice. Nothing responds. Hale slammed his fist against a metal cabinet. He wasn't angry at the engineers, he was angry at the clock ticking louder than the alarms. Someone murmured, "We're out of options." But Hale wasn't listening anymore. His eyes had drifted to a dusty photo pinned to the wall. A woman, goggles on her forehead, smiling despite the scorch marks on her face. Captain Elena Ward. The best Apache systems expert the Army had ever seen. A legend in every way that mattered. A ghost in every way that hurt. She had walked away from service 3 years ago, after a mission went catastrophically wrong. No one knew exactly why she left. Some whispered trauma. Some whispered loss. Some whispered guilt. But Hale knew only one thing. If anyone could save the Apache, it was her. He stepped outside, pulled out an old, half-cracked phone, the one number he never deleted, and pressed call. The line clicked. A familiar voice answered, slow and tired. Commander Hale? Elena. He inhaled deeply. We need you. The Apache's down. And we're running out of time. There was silence on the other end, heavy, emotional, trembling. I'm not military anymore, she whispered. You're still the best, Hale replied softly. And right now, lives depend on you. Another long pause. Then. I'll be there in 40 minutes. The hangar fell into complete silence when Elena walked in. She wore a stained flight jacket, hair tied back loosely, eyes shadowed with years she hadn't spoken of. Soldiers exchanged glances, not out of disrespect, but reverence. Stories about her had been whispered like myths, the woman who could hear an Apache's heartbeat, who once rebuilt a fried targeting system mid-flight, who saved crews countless times without expecting applause. She didn't greet anyone. She simply approached the helicopter and placed her hand on its side. Like greeting an old friend. Her voice was barely audible. What did they do to you? The techs explained the failures. She didn't interrupt. Didn't panic. She crawled under the fuselage, checked wiring, disconnected panels, listened, a veteran who didn't need computers to understand. Minutes turned into hours, the sun threatening to rise. And then she found it. A microscopic fracture in a power distribution node. Invisible unless you knew exactly where to look. A flaw caused by extreme vibration, something only battle-seasoned pilots knew how to diagnose. She whispered, this Apache wasn't broken, it was hurting. The room froze. Commander Hale stepped closer. Can you fix it? Elena looked at him, eyes filled with pain she had carried alone for years. I can fix the helicopter, she said. But I don't know if I can fix what came with it. She wasn't talking about metal. She was talking about herself. Hale placed a hand on her shoulder. Then let tonight be the start. Elena exhaled, grabbed her tools, and said, let's bring her back. A veteran redeemed and the Apache that roared again. By dawn, the hangar glowed with a different kind of energy, not fear, but fragile hope. Elena worked with precision no textbook could teach. Every screw, every sensor alignment, every thermal check was done with a surgeon's steadiness and a mother's care. The Apache wasn't a machine to her, it was something alive, carrying souls, carrying purpose. And the soldiers felt it. One young technician, barely 20, whispered to Rourke, "Sir, she's like magic." Rourke nodded. "No. She's experience, pain, and brilliance forged together." As Elena calibrated the flight computer, Commander Hale approached quietly. "You didn't have to come," he said. Elena didn't look up. "Part of me never left." He hesitated before asking, "Why did you disappear?" Her hands froze. Then, she finally spoke, the truth she had buried. 3 years ago, she said softly, I lost a crew. Not because I failed. But because the system failed. And I knew the signs. I knew something was wrong. But I didn't push hard enough. I didn't fight the chain of command. And when they died. Her voice cracked. I didn't think I deserved to fix anything ever again. Hale's expression softened. Elena, you saved hundreds before that. And you warned them. Their loss wasn't your fault. She blinked hard, swallowing tears she couldn't let fall. Doesn't feel that way. Silence grew heavy, but not suffocating. Instead, it healed. Until suddenly, the Apache systems beeped, lights flickering to life. Everyone turned at once. Elena stared at the glowing cockpit screens. The targeting system ran its diagnostics. The navigation core synced. The engines primed. The Apache was alive. The hangar erupted in shouts, claps, disbelief. Rourke nearly dropped his tablet. How did you? Elena stepped back, smudged with grease and exhaustion. I listened, she said simply. Hale approached the cockpit, awe in his eyes. Will she fly? Elena gave a small, tired smile, the first real smile since she arrived. She'll do more than fly. She'll lead. Minutes later, the Apache lifted off, engines roaring like thunder as it headed for the rescue mission. Soldiers watched with pride, and gratitude none could put into words. But Hale wasn't looking at the helicopter. He was looking at Elena. You know, he said, you just saved more lives today than you realize. Elena exhaled, emotions shaking her voice. I'm not the hero they think I am. Maybe not, Hale said gently. But you're the hero they needed. The sun rose behind her, lighting her face in gold, the face of a veteran who had once walked away, now standing tall again. Elena breathed deeply, finally at peace with a past that once crushed her. For the first time in years, she whispered. I'm ready to come back. And Commander Hale simply nodded. Welcome home. Sometimes the strongest people aren't the ones who never fall. But the ones who rise again, even when the world believes they're done. Elena didn't just fix an Apache. She fixed the part of herself she thought was broken forever. And that's what makes her legendary.